Microsoft 365 Nation, Harry Brailsford again, and we're just going around the horn with our esteemed monthly contributors. So we've come all the way back around to Frank Ohlhorst out of the New York City region. Frank, hello.
Hey Harry, how you doing?
Good, good. So, I always like to check in with you. So, give me an example of maybe the most recent conference you've went to, and where were you, and what was it about, sir?
Well, last week I was in Dallas, Texas,
Okay.
and it was beautiful weather for a change compared to what I was having in New York. But I was at the Workfront Leap conference, and it was actually their first time that they did a conference like this. And what Workfront is all about is workflow automation and a workflow platform that's compatible with numerous other things. And they're very much have embraced the channel, I guess is the best way to put it. That
Yeah, that's very interesting to me. Hmm.
Yeah, they have created this platform, which is a web-based software as a service type platform that can plug into all different sorts of things, and including things like RPA, robotic process automation, and
Wow.
AI platforms, things like Jira and whatnot. So the idea is that you're able to create these workflows that can go across other products if need be, to bring automation into your workflows. And this probably would mean a lot to, mid-sized businesses out there, which have been kind of left out of the whole workflow automation game because of, lack of folks available to come in and help them get set up. And, you've got other folks out there that are doing workflow stuff, but they're not very channel friendly. And when you look at the small and medium business arena, those folks rely on partners and solution providers and MSPs and all that to be able to do high tech solutions. So this is becoming a big opportunity for our system integrators out there, our particular audience, to get involved with workflow.
Yeah, and I'm gonna write down, what was the name of the company? I'm gonna look it up later. What was that called?
Workfront.
Workfront. Okay. And are they out of the Dallas area, or did they just pick Dallas for their conference?
They picked Dallas for their conference. I believe they're out of Utah, you
Okay.
know, around the old Novell stamping
I was going
grounds.
to say, yeah, what was it? WordPerfect, Novell, man, that
Yeah.
we're going back in time. Well, Frank, this month, a conversation you and I have had on the side, and once again, you're going to reel me in and correct me, but I wanted to kind of say, combination of automation, cloud MSP in a box, and device as a service, and you always have a way of kind of bringing it all back together and keeping me on the straight and narrow. So let's get your thoughts on just sort of the systematic rollout and implementation and administration of technologies. Go.
Well, this is sort of a thought experiment, as we
Yeah.
discussed before, and it's looking at how the modern office is evolving thanks to cloud-based services. And
Yeah.
we could just throw out some basic services out there. Think about what the impact Office 365 has had. It has kind of abstracted the idea of your Office applications from anything physical other than a methodology to get to those applications.
Yeah.
Now, if we look at small and medium business out there, which are very much tied to the physical office solutions, where even if we go back to the small business server days, where we've still got a lot of folks out there on small business server because it did what it did very well.
Hey, amen, brother. I still got the books.
Yep, and hey, I contributed to some of those books, and did quite a bit of work under SBS, and I was sad to see it go. But now I'm feeling a little more optimistic about the path that things are going with these complete office environments, whether it's under Office 365 or
Yep.
under somebody like Zoho with Zoho One, or even the Google Suite, which is now getting
Yep.
more and more robust in what it offers. All three of those are now offering tools to allow you to do custom application development. I
Okay.
mean, not, full blown, apps from scratch, but rapid application development, allowing you to create custom applications and put data into databases and work with the other applications within that given suite. So I see a big opportunity there for, the folks, especially the MSPs out there that are currently, kind of married to this idea of supporting hardware and software on site and using, remote administration tools to do it, and using ITSM products to do it. Now, what if we were to look at it from the point of view of that? Let's eliminate the on-site for all practical purposes from the point of view of what software is available. And it's something that's been very successfully done with like Salesforce and many other software as a service opportunities and applications. So if we start looking at Office 365, G Suite, and Zoho One as an Office as a service, we are able to build this ideology that we can provide as a system integrator or a solution provider or an MSP or an MSSP, a completely secure work environment where the end hardware almost becomes irrelevant because, hey, you could use a Linux notebook, or you could use a Chromebook, or even a basic PC. As long as it's got a decent browser on it and decent connectivity, you've successfully moved all the Office functionality into the cloud. Now add to that kind of a suite of other services, whether it's payroll or even line of business applications. If they're hosted, the MSP can become the manager of that and take over all the administrative burdens for their clients and turn the services into this ongoing utility model where the MSP becomes responsible for keeping everything working, taking care of tech support, doesn't have to set foot on premise, other than maybe, if they want to set up a printer or something like that, if, they're more of a local presence. But,
Yeah.
you could transform the model into something like this and then build out upon it. Start doing, the customer's website, have it integrated, start doing workflow solutions, start doing custom applications, start bringing other line of business applications. Then it could be further even wrapped up into kind of a vertical market. I mean, you could put together this whole package for a, let's say it's a financial services firm or a medical office. So you could create all of these elements, make it a virtual office, give the end client the ability to work from anywhere. So if it's something with branch offices, hey, that works out well. Reducing the overall cost for the customer, yet extending the value that the solution provider brings to that customer and becoming that trusted insider to further help that business grow and achieve more efficiencies. So that's kind of it in a nutshell.
Yeah. So a couple of things. I almost interrupted you because there's a joke in there somewhere that a old time big iron on-prem server guy and a developer walk into a bar. And guess who's more popular today? Guess who's more popular today? It's going to be the developer, right? The DevOps individual has got the hot hand, as they say. And it has shifted. Now, in all seriousness, Frank, I agree on the whiteboard with what you're saying. I get it. Now, that said, it has been said that it takes a generation to change a culture. And I really do believe that, whether you're talking politics, you're talking this, you're talking that. And Frank, that's where I get a little frustrated is I agree with you in terms of the shift in the supply curve because of change in technology, right? So the economics have changed, the solutions have changed, but there's a little bit of there's some Luddites in our audience, and I don't know if we have to wait for them to retire, go get a day job or something. And I just want to pose that question to you that you're laying out what's exactly correct. Now how do we get the channel partner to frickin' do it?
Well, yep, that's very true. But change is coming whether people like it or not, and is being forced upon them. Take a look at something like GDPR, the impact that that had on any business that has to do business with an EU citizen, regardless of where the business is located. That forced businesses to adapt. And guess what? A lot of them went over to cloud-based services to deal with the platform requirements for privacy. GDPR is only the beginning. The state of California is coming out with a similar privacy type legislation. There's other states, I believe Idaho, North Dakota, Kentucky, and a few other states that are looking at this with extreme vigilance to bring these online privacy laws. Also look at the changing shape of how even retail is now operating. Look at how Amazon has leveraged their cloud model, not only to provide services to people, but to sell products. Yeah. Look at how that's impacting people. Look at how other services, whether it's Uber or Lyft. I mean,
and Frank, what I would offer, the way you talk about California with its arguably leadership position and privacy stuff, what you're seeing up here in Seattle recently with, again, take it at face value, Governor Jay Inslee's announced for president. He's the climate candidate. We'll just leave that hanging out there. But the way it plays out in the state of Washington is a lot of compliance stuff with climate reporting, right? So yes. Carbon tax, carbon neutral, compliance, and so this is all IoT and technology based. I mean, this is where this is all going, man.
Yes, and I mean, even look at a traditional legislation like HIPAA and Sarbanes-Oxley and everything like that. This is forcing change. And if you look at it from the point of view, let's say you are a solution provider servicing the medical industry. Yeah, doctor's offices and things like that. HIPAA is a very, very big concern, and if you're able to convert that office into something that is more secure by using cloud-based services with the proper security wrapped around it, you're solving a problem for that doctor, and you're also becoming, I won't say indispensable, but a critical component of the success of that business. And I think that's where a lot of MSPs would really like to go, to become that trusted insider, considered a component of success for the business. But to be able to do that, we kind of have to change the way that we look at providing services.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, let's make that the final word for the month of May, sir. We're coming up on Memorial Day, so you know what that means back on the East Coast where you live. You get to get out your whites. You get to wear that summer white clothing just starting shortly.
Yeah, well, I got to open the pool first.
There you go. Well, Frank, oh, hey, by the way, before we go, you told us about Dallas a week ago. Where might people see you next? Throw out a city, throw out a conference you believe you're going to.
Well, I'm not 100% sure, other than some channel events in New York City in June.
Okay.
Right now, I'll tell you this, my son is getting married a week from today, so I've kind of put travel on hold for a little bit.
Yeah, understood. Family priorities. Frank, pleasure as always. We will talk to you next month, my friend.
Take care, Harry, and thanks.
Thanks.